Okay, joining me from all the way across the other side of the world, looking very comfortable right now, I might add, is Johann Eckerstrom,
Mm.
vocalist of the wildly inventive Avatar ahead of their Australian tour. Johann, how are you doing, my friend?
Uh, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, comfortable. I don't know. It's two shows left of this US tour we're on, so everything hurts. But in a good way. Hurts in the
So,
good places.
so you're in
No,
you're in
like
recovery
so I'm
position,
good,
are
thanks.
you?
Yeah, also,
Yeah.
press stay and a hotel room
Yeah.
position as well.
All right, well, we'll try and make this as painless as possible. How have the shows have been going? So you've been going pretty hard on the touring circuit lately?
Yeah, that has been since the album come out. It's been very intense, but all good stuff. We Yeah, this album cycle was very loaded with a lot of intense touring, and I mean, we're easing up, relatively speaking, but we've got
Mm.
plans spilling way into next year even. So, no, it's been good. I really like how the new stuff has gelled well with the old stuff, where as far as the crowd reactions have been, there's no difference really.
Oh,
They
that's
love it
fantastic.
all.
That's
Yeah,
great to
no, so
hear.
it's a great continuation of the Avatar saga,
That's
if you will.
excellent. Awesome. So I've actually got a couple of questions for a couple of folks who this is from Kaz Black and Richie Black, who are husband and wife duo. They do some photography and reviews, and those two are mega
Hmm.
fans. So I thought, you know what, with
Oh,
the time
great.
we've got, I'm going to sneak in a couple of their questions and then maybe one or
Sure.
two of my own. So the first
Hmm.
one from Mr. Richie Black, shout out to Richie Black. He has asked, his first trip, they were also very adamant that they really thoroughly enjoyed the live show. The first trip to Australia was slightly scaled down compared to the European gigs, purely due to
Hmm.
factors like stage size. So they were wondering if there was anything show related that they'll be bringing to this upcoming show that they took out of their set from slightly larger venues this time around. So I guess the question is, are you guys looking to sort of adapt anything from your larger venues down to, say, the smaller Australian stage?
I mean, as far as light packages and those things go, yeah, that gets scaled up. But there's also the reality of that, as well as we're doing as a band, we when we build our production and the stuff we travel around with, we can afford one set of it. So there are no duplicates. And then there's the
Yeah,
thing of loading things into containers and shipping them across the world.
yeah.
Um, so, so a lot of things sadly do have to stay home still for this tour. I want to turn this to a positive though, because
Mm,
I do like, as far as the true essence of the theatrical side of Avatar lies within us as performers anyway. And all those cool bells and whistles that went on top of things are great. We love
mm,
doing that.
mm,
But if you want to catch an avatar who are fighting for their lives, who are, who got nothing but themselves to rely on, if you will, I'm gonna bring some costume changes, so
mm.
it's not all scaled down, but just the bare bones there to do some real damage as a band. That is what the Australian show will be also this time around. But then you guys keep coming, help us
Yeah.
grow in Australia, and soon enough we will have all those weird little tracks that things slide around on a stage when we come there as well.
So in terms of your setup, like it sounds like there's quite a lot to it. I mean, you're sounding like you've got costume changes. In terms of the
Mm.
actual sound and production, I'm imagining there's a fair bit that goes into that on the back end too, like front of house and that kind of thing. Like especially with your songwriting evolving into more like a lot more sort of like theatrical elements. Is there still a lot of that, or is it still? I mean, obviously it's going to be driven by the band, and people are there to see you perform at the end of the
Oh
day.
no, but the crew that we have and that we have cultivated over the years
Mm.
uh, is key to that. I think we've just been pointing out now we have this guy started on this cycle, Niklas Dahlstrand, as a front of house, for instance, who well, people tend to say we never sounded better, and we sounded pretty damn good before as well. No, so like it's a whole, just like, it's sometimes you see bands where the singer thinks just because they get the most spotlights on them that they're somehow the thing that it's all about. No,
Yeah.
you're the head of a spear, and you need that, and that spear has a long stick of it, and someone needs to hold that spear, and blah, there's a whole
Yeah.
chain, link after link that kind of builds that thing where I get to shine, and I only shine as much as everybody who helps me shine. Their
Yeah.
efforts
And
counts all the way.
I think that's a very important and very often missed point with live shows and live production that yourself as the front man, yeah, you do obviously the way that it works out being on vocals and
I mean,
but
I'm still the best and the most beautiful and most important guy in the band, don't get me
and the
wrong,
most
but
humble,
the
of
other guys are.
course. You're
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
typical
And
front
never
man.
tell, and never tell, and never tell a lie either. So, but that aside, yes, of course, everybody has their role to play,
Yeah.
and it's
Mm,
everything needs to work for the thing to work, especially
mm,
like you say, when it's more production, more theatrical elements, more ambitious ideas of what a show can be, than
mm,
the team effort is
mm.
stable, like Formula One.
Yeah.
It might be that the most of us know, just because I'm not into motorsports, but I know a handful of race car drivers' names.
Mm,
If you're in it, you know the mechanics,
yeah.
you know,
And you've got a
and
whole pit
there are a
crew
lot of.
behind you too.
Exactly.
Mm,
Someone built a car, someone takes care of that car, and that whole thing, the stable. And I'm
mm.
part of the stable, but I get to drive the F1 that my stable built for me and maintains for me. So
Awesome.
that's
Yeah.
something like that.
Driving down the European and US autobahn of gigging. And speaking of gigging, that leads into the next question from these guys, and they've said, and you've touched on this, and I think the setting of our interview actually sort of answers this question. So they've asked the tour schedule is relentless for the remainder of the year, and I did have a look on your site, and it's you guys have a Black Flag punk rock level of touring, with basically no downtime. So they wondered actually how you guys are helping to manage your wellness, like mentally and body health wise. Just noting that that's a pretty grueling schedule, could be pretty tiring. How do you kind of manage on the way or afterwards? What sort of helps you guys get through?
Well, for one, I think we have a good chunk of the summer off. We have almost 2 months off in the fall, off from touring, that is.
Mm,
We're still busy, and there are bits and bobs around there. To be fair, yes, it is an extensive touring schedule, but we
mm,
also do see home. But if in terms of taking care of yourself on the road, the answer differs a bit from day to day, and it's about
yeah.
striking a balance. I mean,
Mm,
uh, the parties were certainly there were more of them and they were wilder in the
mm,
past, and there was sometimes still the powder keg needs to explode for people also nowadays.
yeah.
But I think a big important thing is to, I mean, we touring in the 2020s means Zoom calls and other apps. We reach home. Home is closer than it used to be,
Yeah.
which helps. And to have your home life as active as possible, despite being here in terms of communication, that's a big
Mm,
thing. And then having a life, I guess, is a big thing.
yeah.
Having a life, which means that, I mean, some days off just needs to be off, just like
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to crash on that couch, but
Yeah.
sometimes you should also enrich yourself outside of work
Yeah.
and seize those opportunities and see friends because we made friends on the road. All the things that's true for at home that could be it's not that complicated. It's just this environment makes it easier to forget. So there's the physical fitness aspect of it.
Yeah.
Um I tried to put a lot of, to put a lot of money on the account, so to speak, so it's there for a rainy day, meaning
Mm,
kind of a very heavy, relatively heavy workout regimen outside of what we do on stage. So then, because someone's gonna get the flu and they're gonna give it to me,
yeah.
and I'm not canceling shows until I literally can't stand up.
Mm,
But by taking care of yourselves on days when you can take care of yourselves,
mm,
means that you have something to withdraw a bit from and make it through the tough periods.
mm,
Physical fitness, eat right when you can, and when you so do those things because take care of the body takes care of the mind. Get your sleep, and at some point though, your brain is full. Then you eat crap and don't move
yeah.
and recharge it like that. So it's
Sometimes you just got to
same
treat
rules as
yourself.
home.
Yeah.
Exactly. So same rules as home.
And in terms of checking things out and exploring the place, in terms of coming back to Australia, both in terms of just the Australian, like our live setting, how you've seen the shows and the Australian environment, what sorts of things are you guys looking forward to for the upcoming tour coming down here?
I haven't had time to really plan and think ahead, but I will at some point soon enough before we go. Uh, I realized that the things that I would love to do the most if I had a lot of time will probably have to wait a bit longer because nowadays my greatest takeaways on the road seem to mostly be related to nature.
Yeah,
Peak would be once with just the schedule, the timing of things aligned just perfect so we could wake up and go and watch the sun rise over Grand Canyon here in the States, right?
yeah,
So those things, those last longer than anything else. And I mean, I got to see some kangaroos and hold a koala, but to really have the chance to have someone take me, away from the cities a bit and see that
yeah,
that is even parts that are just look like home and around the corner for you who live it, because that's always the case, right? But it's all ultra exotic to me. We have
mm,
different trees and different,
yeah,
so I would love to have the chance to do that. I should get a scuba license at some point, I guess, because the barrier reef, of course, those kind of things.
yeah,
But that is years into the future when I have time to do that. Um, just to be ready for it when it happens, So,
yeah,
but nature stuff is high on the list. Because I took a selfie in front of the Sydney Opera House. Actually, having a day off and have time to see a production of the Opera House when in Sydney would have been neat,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think the advantage of Australian urban planning, just the environment too, is like you don't have to go too far to, you don't really have to be driven out to say a peninsula or whatever to say go to like a local parklands or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Things like
Kind of
that.
well,
Just
like Scandinavian countries, the same. We
yeah,
don't
yeah,
instead of this as much as I enjoy touring the United States, but taking off from the airport on the way home and you look down at what it looks like around, you get a bit sad for them.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And just a sort of before we sort of wrap up, a couple more questions. I've like one of them I was kind of intrigued of because I did a bit of a scan, a bit of a read of just reviews of the most previous album, and I'm as we're sitting here talking, I've got the whistle from the opening track just playing in my head like a loop. Like, damn, it's catchy. It's a catchy album.
Hmm.
It's been an
I'm
interesting
glad.
kind of critical response, and I'm very interested in your take on the critical response versus the live show because for me it seems a little bit mixed. I feel like a lot of reviewers are maybe mired in the more play your old stuff, keep it more melodeathy, like what's going on with all this new silly stuff. It's mostly positive, but I've noticed there are a few reviews around that, and yet contrast that with the actual lived experience of you're saying people are rocking out. It hasn't actually impacted anything. So I guess what are your sorts
I
of
don't
thoughts on that?
I don't read reviews really. I don't
Yeah,
read the reviews.
yeah,
I get there's a bit of a morbid curiosity the first week, but then you forget about it. Then it stops mattering to us as artists. I'm busy figuring out how I feel about things and the next step, and then also how it landed among the people where it's where who it was intended for outside of the band. And I think Avatar has always been a band kind of band like if you get it, you get it, and if you get it, there's nothing like it because there's no band like us.
exactly.
Uh, and I think to the degree I've seen reviews, and of course I only click on the good ones. Uh, I because
Yeah.
which isn't healthy either. But
Well, you
neither
don't
of
want to
its
crush your
reviews
spirit
are
either. Like, you know,
no, but and I don't think like I also don't let the good ones
inflate the
get to me too much either. That like
yeah,
it's I made sure that I know what I feel about things first, and then what I feel will change. It's interesting to me how I feel in 10 years about it. But by that point, the album is a photo album of this part of my life, and then everything. Then I love the warts more than the smooth skin, if you will,
yeah.
at that point. But all this to say, where was I going? I was going somewhere with this. Uh, Sometimes I feel seeing negative reviews of things in general, not just ours. Uh, One thing is uh, if a review understands what something was meant to be and then feel that they failed at achieving that, then that's a valid criticism.
Mm,
But if you say this album is bad because I wanted them to do something else, I think is somewhat intellectually weak by a review. I think that's fair for a fan to think. I like it when these guys do these things. At Avatar, the pendulum swings between like extreme music and then the more melodic stuff and something we never tried before. And there's a lot of things to like with Avatar, or there's a lot of things that if you like one of the things from a very eclectic band, then there's a bunch of things to dislike. That's all fine. But that is a fan perspective, and that is a
mm.
fan review of something. Uh, uh, a proper review would more focus on, okay, is this too melodic or too whatever? For what? For what it is? No. Then you have to say, how is it in the field of that? So I think it's an intellectual weak standpoint to have, I guess, if that is the criticism. But if you think that if you felt it lacked the mystique or lacked the whimsical or lacked those dark passages and all that I intended to put in there, and you think I did a piss poor job out of what it was supposed to be, then
Exactly. And
then by all means,
I
hmm?
think I think fans can judge for themselves, and we're going to have. I'm mindful that you've probably got a conga line of other Australians to talk to at the moment, but what I would offer to the audience is that come down to the show and judge for yourself. Have a look online at some of the live videos, but maybe not taint yourself too much with the experience, and it's going to be something cinematic and theatrical. So I'm going to let you go and run through the rest of the press release gauntlet. I hope you get
Yeah,
some R&R, mate, and we'll see you down here in Australia very shortly. We'll have all the tour details online. Thanks for your time, my friend,
perfect.
and
Thank you for doing that.
I hope you get some more rest in between being badgered with questions.
Yeah, appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Stay on your side of things. Bye bye.
Bye. G'day, Inner Strength Check community. It's Brady reporting back in. Those of you that are watching from YouTube, you can see that it's a little bit different in here. I'm actually moving out of this place back up to the one where the interview took place the other day. Those of you on the podcast probably don't care about that, but that's fine. Anyways, I just wanted to give a big thanks once again to John Hoarth and the Avatar crew and Johan for giving me his time. That was a really good interview. Really appreciate it, mate, and especially when you had such a meat grinder of probably interviews to do. So I appreciate the time. So now I'm going to do what I did the other day. And look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm making these all out from my own volition. I actually just want to read straight from the horse's mouth. This is from the press release, which will be available online alongside all of your ticket links, tour details, all that fun stuff. So let's hear it straight from the band themselves. Australia, you thought they forgot. They did not. They waited. They sharpened their claws. They let the forest grow wilder, darker, hungrier. 3 years is a blink in an eye in eternity, yet long enough for the trees to learn your secrets. Now they return not as visitors, but as conquerors. Bring your torches, bring your madness, bring your soul laid bare. Step into the woods and let the clown paint your face with fire. I'm glad they added with fire. Do not go in alone, because once you enter, you never truly leave. In 2023, when we declared Avatar one of the greatest live metal bands on the planet, some were incredulous. Then, Australia witnessed the crushing the band delivered. Dance Devil Dance hit #1 on the iTunes rock and metal albums charts, congrats, and #6 across all genres. And the doubters vanished. Bye, doubters. Now, Avatar returned with the triumphant release of their 10th studio album, Don't Go Into the Forest, continuing their legacy of crushing riffs, soaring hooks, masterful songwriting, and shadow-soaked storytelling. And I tell you what, guys, I'm going to see Fear Factory tomorrow, and I'm a big fan of those guys, and I have been trying to get that album, Don't Go Into the Forest, out of my head all week with some Fear Factory. And when they say hooks, they ain't lying. It's actually swirling around. Some of those hooks are still swirling around in my damn head. So the guys know how to write a catchy tune. Australia, prepare to pledge your allegiance. The reckoning has arrived. And I say it in that voice because it's bolded and italics. So, Avatar 2026 Australian and New Zealand tour dates are Wednesday, 26th of August, they're playing at Adelaide at Lion Arts Factory. Friday, 28th of August, they're playing in Melbourne at Northcote Theatre. We will hopefully see some of our staffers there amongst you guys, moshing it up. Saturday, 29th of August, they're playing Sydney at the Manning Bar. Sunday, 30th of August, they're playing in Brisbane at the Princess Theatre. Tuesday, 1st of September, they are at Auckland Brew at the Power Station. Tickets are on sale now from ThePhoenix.AU/avatar-2026. Once again, if you couldn't be bothered memorizing hyperlinks from my read of it, all of that's going to be in the show notes. Go check it out. Go have a look at Avatar's online footage on YouTube and all sorts. It's looking like a very interesting show, very theatrical, very intrigued by this one. So if you're interested in what you've heard so far, once again, head over to innerstrengthcheckpodcast.com/blog. We'll have the show notes there. We'll also have a link to the show notes in the podcast description. As always, peace, love, and grindcore. Thank you guys. And shut up, birds.